groups, we're kind of united around a common purpose, which is to bring clean energy to everybody, to avoid climate change, and to make access to this clean energy available around the world at any time.
So at RedGrid, we are creating what's called the Internet of Energy. And so that is a platform that connects devices that both produce and consume energy and gives them the intelligence to both communicate with one another and coordinate their behavior with one another. And when you give these devices that are currently disconnected intelligence, they can act in accordance with one another to avoid blackouts, for example, that we experienced here in Australia, but also exchange value with one another. And then by doing that, we can create a grid that is harmonious for both people and the planet.
So an example of this is that you might have an air conditioner in one place which is consuming a lot of energy, and then we have another air conditioner coming on, and suddenly we've got a lot of air conditioners like we have in Australia in these very, very hot days, all dragging energy on the grid. That causes problems, and actually here in Australia we've had blackouts because of that. So what RedGrid technology does is enables those air conditioners to orchestrate themselves, to some to switch on a bit earlier, some to switch off during those peak events, and we start to turn these big waves of energy demand into these smaller waves. And so we enable the grid to be more sustainable, and our project therefore is enabling us to move to a future that's going to be resilient to the extremes of climate change and also enable people to use their energy in the best possible way. So the problem we're solving here is that there are still 1.2 billion people on Earth that don't have electricity, and we're moving to a climate which is unsustainable. We can't burn fossil fuels anymore. So we need lots of clean electricity, and we need it to get to everybody. The reason how we can solve this problem is also happening because we have 200 billion Internet of Things devices that are coming onto our systems within the next 5 to 10 years. And so we have this amazing opportunity to take these problems, use Internet of Things devices and the Internet of Energy, and create these solutions.
What the system needs is a decentralized architecture, and there's been a lot of attention around blockchain solutions as providing a promise to solve that problem. But the unfortunate reality is that blockchain solutions are data-centric also, so they suffer from the same problem. The holochain solution that we've come across is agent-centric, so energy devices need local and global context to make their decisions and cooperate as a group. And Holo is really the only opportunity to solve that problem.
So I was on the first two dev camps. The first one was, of course, Go from Google, and then the Rust one. And after the second one, Philip Beadle, who actually lives in Melbourne, as does David Meister, some of the core devs. I went to him afterwards and I said, basically, can this be headless? Because a lot of the, in the dev camp was to do with web development, but I could see the possibilities. And again, with the IoT perspective, and he said, absolutely. These things scale, and as we get deeper into it, I believe that they infinitely scale, which is really interesting. So I brought it to these guys in about October, and it's been a whirlwind since then, and we've just latched right onto it.
So we see holochain as really important to this solution because it's the solution to the energy problem really needs a transformation. And it needs a whole entire new way of looking at things, and the agent-based approach from the bottom up and out, and orchestrating energy devices with local and global context is super important, and it's really a unique solution to this industry. So that's in particular why we think it's super important.
Of course, a very obvious reason why we chose holochain is there's no energy associated mining costs, and we can't save the planet if we're killing it at the same time, so that's really important to us.
And the last one I'd add as well is community. The holochain community's been really brilliant in rallying behind us in our mission, and they're also very mission driven as well, so there's a great alignment there.